Hi, and welcome to another Average Joe Hockey Report. In this video, with help from a article from the Hockey Writers, we're going to take a look at the Montreal Canadiens off-season situation. So the Montreal Canadiens, coming into the off-season, have $14.6 million in cap space. Here's what's gonna need. Here's what they need to address come the off-season, and I think what they need to address is the top four for defense, and it needs to be a puck mover. They need to add a puck moving defenseman, in my opinion, because they're not going to be in the Canadian division anymore. They're going to be back in the old division with the old Atlantic division that they were in before. As it is, they'll be competing against the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And while Boston, and their arch rivals, the Toronto Maple Leafs, whom they had trouble with in the regular season. Now, while Tampa Bay, I've talked about their off-season situation being complicated, and while Boston's window of opportunity is starting to dwindle a bit, there's still going to be teams to compete that will be competing next season, and Montreal could still have trouble against these two teams. So this is where it's important that they need to make the additions necessary. Also, the Florida Panthers and Ottawa Senators are on the rise, so I wouldn't necessarily write them out. And remember that the last time the Montreal Canadiens played regular season games against the Detroit Red Wings, they didn't win one single game. So again, this is where this offseason is going to be really key. They might need to address backup goaltending situation if the Seattle Kraken take Jake Allen. However, the Seattle Kraken could have the option of going through free agency to sign a goalie. And Chris Driedger, who had a better season than Jake Allen, will be available, as it doesn't look like the Florida Panthers are going to re-sign him. They're just going to go with Spencer Knight and Sergei Bobrovsky. So maybe the Habs don't lose Jake Allen. Maybe the Kraken go for Chris Driedger or Frederik Andersen. Maybe even Peter Mrazek. We'll see. Also, the Jonathan Drouin, or Jonathan Drouin if you want me to be English, situation will become impactful. I'll just quote the article. He went into long-term injury list on the 20th of April, and since then there has been no news on his ailment or his return. The player and the team are the only ones who know that's the situation, but the important issue is for him to return to health. That I agree. Mental health is really important during this pandemic, and I hope he does well in his recovery. Now, it'll be interesting to see if they even protect Drouin when the Kraken expansion occurs. But if they do protect him, he could actually have a decent season if paired with the right line mates, and maybe his wrist fully heals, because there was talk that his wrist wasn't fully healed, which is why he didn't really shoot much. He overpassed the puck. Yep. One thing's for sure, they've got a couple of RFAs that the hockey writers suggest they resign, including Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Yes. Please resign Jesperi Kotkaniemi. During the playoffs, he tied Wayne Gretzky and Sidney Crosby for most goals in the playoffs before a player hit 21 years old. Kotkaniemi will become the breakout player that he was projected to be once, and just needs to more or less, mature and give him legit line mates. He hasn't really had two legit line mates or whatever, and I feel like he's done decent with the line mates that he's been given and whatnot. In the other RFAs, Arturi Lehkonen. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if he returned. he scored that big goal against Vegas. He can sometimes score timely goals, and he's definitely not, his two-way game definitely doesn't hurt. The key UFAs are Corey Perry and Philip Danault. I'm just gonna quote the article again. Perry shouldn't be an expensive addition. He played a league minimum of 750,000 last season, and despite his excellent year for a 35-year-old or 36 or whatever, he won't likely ask for much more as the Anaheim Ducks are still paying him $2 million, and he wants to stay in Montreal. There's but the other UFA is Philip Danault. The Hockey Writers say that he seems to be willing to accept the role that he played in the playoffs as a shutdown third line center. And then they say that if he is a third line center, then he shouldn't be given more than 4 to 4.5 million on a short-term contract, especially with the young centers such as Jake Evans and Ryan Poehling being groomed to fill that role. I don't know about Poehling, to be honest. Poehling did have a good AHL season, but he also came off of an injury. So it wouldn't surprise me if Poehling next season is a part-time AHL player and not a part-time NHL player. So yeah. But Jake Evans, I do believe, yes, will be the fourth line center. All right. Yeah, so they say the remaining UFAs such as Yoel Armia, Thomas Tatar, and Eric Staal aren't as important to return. I say Tatar and Staal are gone. They did not really have good seasons. Well, Staal had a good playoffs, but I mean, you can move past them. But Tatar is time, basically. Armia would be nice to keep, but with his history of injuries and whatnot, yeah, I know I can understand how this could be a gray area, whatever. So the puck moving defenseman that the hockey writers suggest is Alec Martinez, formerly of the Vegas Golden Knights. He only his cap hit was $4 million per season, and it doesn't look like Vegas can retain him because they're going to be tied up against the cap, basically. I wouldn't necessarily mind Martinez, especially since he did have 32 points in 53 games, and I think a Martinez Weber pairing would be better than the Sherratt Weber pairing, because I think Martinez is a faster skater, and as you could see, he put up the points and whatnot. So yeah, I think a Martinez Weber pairing would be a lot better. I think it's time to split the Weber Sherratt pairing. Sherratt's just too on and off, and he doesn't really provide much for puck moving. Like the article will even state the problems that Montreal had regarding defensemen. Or I'll just say it right now. What the heck? Yeah. So basically, yeah. Out of the top four defense, whatever, Petrie was the only puck mover, which is not gonna cut it. Basically. Yeah. Where the hold on a sec. Where is this? Never mind. So yeah, that's all I have to basically say. Sorry for that delay. This video is based at times on opinion and may not imply how Montreal handles their offseason. So remember, if I'm wrong, don't belittle me, educate me. Take care, everyone, and follow my Instagram account, Average Joe Hockey Report, and my YouTube channel, Marty Tommy.